Hello, and welcome to Jessica's Creative Spot. Today I'm going to be trying to recreate this yarn. So I'm going to start with preparing the singles with the beads on it, ready to do the core spinning another day. This commercial singles is spun Z twist, which is the normal way I spin with my spinning wheel. The wheel turns to the right. So I'm going to be adding in more twist to it so that when I do the core spinning I can take some of that twist out. So with this I get my bead on my crochet hook, pull the singles through, and loop it over the bead, and then wiggle it around to secure it, and there it is, ready to go on. It's a lot of stopping and starting with this. I'm just picking an arbitrary distance of, about that much, which I think it's going to be somewhere around 40 centimeters. And adding another bead. And then I can do this, start my wheel again. Pause, small beads, and add them on. Adding the beads in this way stops them from slipping around on the string, so you don't have to thread them all the way down the singles. There we go. I'm just putting the beads on the hook, pulling a loop of the yarn through and over the bead, and I'm pulling it around to make the loop part small. I'm going along, placing another bead, along, placing another bead, and then I start the counting. 1, 1, 2, 3, and on 4, let it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and then I stop and get more beads and keep going. I find it useful to count how much twist I'm adding so that I'm adding an even amount to the whole thing, so that I don't have some bits with extra twist and some bits with less. That's where listening to music while you're spinning can be quite useful. You get into a good rhythm. So I've got my next 4 beads on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop. And get more beads. And this hook only fits 4 beads at a time. This is the finest crochet hook that I have, so that it goes through the beads. I did try smaller beads than this when I was doing a sample at a workshop, and they just didn't like to sit on properly. So if I wanted to use beads that small, then I would need to thread them on. Shift this over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I imagine a tambour embroidery hook would work as well. A tambour needle. Those are made for putting beads on. Oh, hold on. Okay, that tangled up because of the twist. Some fibre got caught. So I'm bringing it straight, rolling it out. Okay. I'm bringing the twist along. I move my hand along. Now I can wind it on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And stop it. Shift it up. And keep going. So here we have the singles with the beads on, ready for doing the core spinning. So I'm going to be covering all of this white yarn apart from where the beads are and letting the white beads stand out. So now this goes on my lazy Kate and I can start spinning. So this is the fibre that I'm working with today. You might remember from my other one that I didn't have the green in it. I am going to be taking the green out because as pretty as it is, I don't want it in there with it. So I'll unroll this a bit. this quarterback, and I will just pick out the bits with green. As I keep spinning, if I find more, I can just take them out as I go. So I have my bat with my green removed, and now I can start spinning. So when I start, I like to get my leader ready and then build up a bit of twist, check my tension. Can I go on and off easily? Yeah. Pause my wheel, get my, attach my yarn. In this case it's attaching my core spin, and then I can start spinning. So I don't often work in with big bits. So I will start edge there, and then because I spun the core that way, when I'm putting the fibre on it, I'm going to spin it back the other way. That's why I needed to add more spin, more twist to the commercial yarn, so that it has enough to be able to go back and not completely unravel. A little bit more green. Just pull that out. Okay. I can just untwist it as much as I can. Pull that bit of green out. And straightening my core. Then wind that on. A bit more there. I'm having to grip this quite tight, so I'm going to loosen the tension slightly. I think I'll also switch my lazy cape over to the other side, so that I'm not having the fibre and the lazy cape on the same side. So I'm going to shift this over and keep going. Draft, put it on. Around that bead. You can see how it's on there, and it's gone around the other side completely, covering the singles underneath. The beads have caught somehow. There we go. The bead going between two other beads when it was wound on. Since I've stopped, I may as well switch this over. It might have a bit much twist. And it got tangled again. I'm wondering if I might have been better to simply put the beads on as I was going, which is what I did with the last one. Slow feet, fast hands. It's not quite got enough up there. My left hand is stopping the twist from travelling up into the rest of the singles. With this one I just coated the fibre over the bead, and I'm just going to push it to the side. And there's the bead popped out. And this is got caught again. Next time I'm just going to put the beads on as I go. This is just slow. Just change the angle of my lazy cape so that it's drawing out more towards me as opposed to drawing on an angle. So it's not pulling towards the end of the bobbin, it's coming straight out from the side of the bobbin. Uh-oh. was my thread breaking? Wait. And do a square knot. And then I'm going to cover this join with more fibre. So I'm pulling off this extra to make it a bit skinnier. So it's not quite so fat of a bit, so that doesn't matter too much. Just smoothing it out. So, that one down. And up. And I will join the fibre back up here. I'm just laying it over, starting my wheel, drafting, and then go around. Yeah, I'm going to pause my work. So I'm going to shift this over ready for next time, wind it up a little bit. And I'm going to go once round. I'm going to put my fibre one side, put my string the other, and it's ready to go for next time. The biggest trouble? Keeping the kids' hands off it so that they don't accidentally break the string. Hello. So I have finished doing the core spinning part of this project, and so I have my singles with beads on, then I've put the wool on around the core, wrapping it around, and now I'm going to be plying it with this. So this is a commercial singles that it is spun in the S direction, and I have added more twist in the S direction. So I did my core spinning in the S direction with this one. I've got extra twist in this one in the S direction. So when I apply them, I'm going to apply them in the Z direction. So this had the extra twist but left. This, when I was last working on it, putting the blue on, I was turning my wheel to the left. So now when I apply them both together, I'm going to be turning my wheel to the right. So again, I've set up my wheel, spinning it, got my leader, I can pull it out, I can push it in, adds twist the whole way through, make a pause, add my 2, maybe, and the bead's making it harder to add. Let's see if this works. So I've got my 2 yarns separated, fingers in between. seeing how the twist with the one thinner strand and one thicker and thinner makes bits that go wider and skinnier. I might be able to switch this around a little bit. That's helped a little bit. That's better. So much like the core spinning, I'm holding the ply that is the singles ply straight and taut, and I'm letting the core spun yarn wrap around it like that with the twist. I'm much preferring how that's coming out. Lovely. Bloop, 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 bloop. Oh, there's green in that. Even at this stage, it's not too late to pull out the bits you don't like. So I separated that. Now smoothing out the yarn so it goes around the core. Again, covering the bald spot. There we go. Done. Now I can fly it in again. many boogie bits. So you might have seen on this bit, instead of wrapping the thicker around the thinner yarn, I wrap the thinner around the thicker, just sort of to anchor it and hold it in place. I like to do all of my plying in one sitting if possible. Not good. You stay there. This is acrylic, so it won't felt together. I'm going to do, it's got a Russian join. Do an overhand knot around one yarn, and then around the other. And that right there. So what happened there was I took out too much twist, or didn't have enough twist added in the other way. Okay, just break it off to make it a bit shorter. I'm just smoothing it out with itself. And I'll take this and immediately just go right over that one. There you go. Depending on what singles you're working with, sometimes you can twist it back, add more twist into both ends separately and draft them back together. When it's a commercial one like this, I prefer to tie a knot. Blessing from all those who come in contact with this. May the peace of God that surpasses all understanding be with them. You know your goodness, your kindness, your faithfulness, and your peace. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, Amen. So I'm feeding it in, pulling the fat yarn, pulling the thin yarn, and plying. Feed, pull, pull, ply. No, we want to feed on the outside. There we go. I don't know if you caught that, the bead was sitting so that it was facing the ply yarn, and so I immediately untwisted it and turned it around so that it would go to the next bit. And would you believe it, we're almost finished plying. end. I'm pulling this closer. I highly suggest not wrapping around your core, around your ends, both ends, when you're doing your core. Makes it that much harder. Take it off. Well, if you're going through a loop like me. So I'm winding on my hand. Start the wheel. There we go. There I am back. Whee! Okay, there's a lot of twist in that. 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay, now I have this little end bit that's trailing off from my bobbin, and so I just hand wind that back on, moving the bobbin for drawing in the thread. And now I can take this off my wheel. There we go. Then I can put this back on my lazy Kate, and it's ready for me to start winding. And now I can take it off onto my niddy nutty. This is a homemade in the local wood shop niddy nutty, and it is bigger than most. I didn't think about it quite a lot when I was asking my husband to do me a 2-meter one, but he worked it out very nicely, and it does 2 meters. And so once I've got it into my hank, I can count how many number of rounds I've got, and from there divide it by 2 for how many meters. Do a half hitch, hold that end there, I will, there we go, untwist that, and then I'll do a half hitch over here to hold this here, and find 2 more strings to hold it in place. So to do this part, I take length of string, cut it, and I go split the yarn, go through, around, through, around. Got my ends, and I can do an overhand knot or I can tie it in a bow. Just depends on what I'm feeling like on the day. It's okay for it to have some room and play. And now they'll do that again with the other side. Again, about that much. So that's tied with the end Where did I put the other end? Oh, right, I just tied it right next to the other end. Okay. Through. Get both ends tight. You want these looser when you know you're going to be dyeing, so that you have that room for the dye and the water to get in between the different bits. For me though, I'm just going to be giving this a wash, setting the twist, which is washing it and drying it, and then it should be ready to use. So into the middle, off the end. Here I have my not balanced yarn. That's another reason for setting the twist, is what once I have put it through the wash, hopefully it won't do that twisting anymore. And then we have it. Hank number 2 to go with hank number 1. Lovely.